the eyes of the people that they're patrolling, pretty much. So that's huge that you guys build those relationships. There's something. It's almost a cliche at this point that we say on this podcast, and it's community. And community is two words put together. It's common unity. Yeah. And when we have something in common, we bring together. And, I like that. And so it's you brought it to the community. You see the people, and once you get familiar with those people and those faces, and you create those relationships, it's not always going to be a cat and mouse game where I'm going to be like, hey, I'm trying to get you. Yeah, because even after that event. I went back to the playground, and I'm chilling. I'm just cleaning up and stuff like that. Like after our event, we cleaned up the park, but we were like, it's still gonna probably be some trash the next day. So I went and cleaned it up. And then some kids came up to me like, "Yo, what's up? Like that event was super cool. Like, let's do it again. Let's do it again." I'm like, "Yeah, we got more stuff coming. Just chill." Like, "No, you want to play? You want?" I'm like, "I got work, bro. I got work." But then somebody from Danny Rump, which is the basketball tournament that happens in Philly every summer. He saw what we did at the tournament. He gave us 15 tickets for free to go to LaSalle, the tournament. So I was like, I went back to the park and I gave them out to the kids. Like, yo, y'all could go to this game. Like, that's here, big. Just go. And they went, and I saw them while I was there. We took a little picture, and that was the moment where I was like, yo, it's really coming around full circle now. Like, this is crazy. So that was your aha moment where you were like, yo, this is really working. Yeah. What number event was that? So you've been doing it for a while. Yeah. But that was the biggest one. That was the biggest one. Would you say that's like your most successful and your happiest one?
Definitely. And because my top 3 right now is that event. Thanksgiving, we go to Woodstock Family Center. It's a family center for homeless women with children. And we went there for Thanksgiving, and we did we cooked the food. We came there and we gave it out, and they loved it. They asked for leftovers. I'm like, oh, my mom hand crazy. Like, she really cooked the food. But then we bought the game truck, and that was eye-opening for me because one of the kids was like, yo, I never even saw one of these games. He's like, my friends at school got it, but, me and them aren't the same. And I'm like.
So what's a game truck?
The game truck, like, you walk into the truck, and the games is just there, and they sit in the truck and play the games for however long the truck is there. Oh,
wow, okay.
Yeah, and we had it for, like, 3 hours, and we was there for 4 hours, and they didn't want to get out of it. Like, the parents was pulling them out of it. Like, but that's good because they will never see that probably ever again until they're a little bit older and can afford it. So, and then on Christmas, we gave away around 600 presents at a daycare on Frankfurt with Buddha from Power Circle. Yeah. And that was major. A lot of people out there, man. A lot of people. And then the day directly after that, I think it was Christmas Eve, we gave away a car to a senior.
Wow.
Yeah, we actually have a car giveaway going on right now.
I did see that. No, go ahead, promote it.
All right, it's a car giveaway for any senior in high school or any freshman in college, and you just gotta submit it on through the link in the bio and stuff like that. It's on LOT Crew LLC, Instagram, and Citywide Community Counseling Services. And I mean, to me, that runs deep with me because I know a lot of my friends couldn't go to faraway colleges because they didn't have a car or their parents couldn't afford it. So that was the thinking behind that. And then Citywide Community Council Service got behind it, and we partnered, and now it's going to be a forever thing. So.
And what's the cutoff for that?
October 23rd.
Okay.
October 23rd. So they have until October 23rd to submit an application.
That's big.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Huge.
Yeah.
So getting it together, what was, when you first started, what were some of the hurdles that you guys had kind of?
Being as though we was like 16, 15.
Yeah, it's hard to take adults. It's hard for adults to take a 16-year-old seriously. Definitely. Because we're so in the phase of coming in and out of things.
And that was the biggest hurdle, people taking us seriously. Like, okay. When we started, we actually pitched it to the state representative, and he loved the idea of what we were doing, but he told us that our thoughts were too big at the moment because we were small. And in some case he was right, but we're big-headed and hard-headed, so we were like, we do whatever we want. So then Thanksgiving, we posted it, and our friends actually backed it and was like donating stuff for Thanksgiving. And that was big because that was the first time we went to Woodstock. And it turned out better than we ever thought. The people there thought we were kids that were like helping out, not kids that were running it. So it was, I think that the biggest hurdle is just people taking us serious and finding money, honestly. Money rules the world. So without that, especially when the government, you 16, they ain't gonna give you no money. Philly ain't giving you no money. No. 16, so
they're like, before we said in the podcast, they're giving money out, but not to the right spots.
Not to the right people. I could count on my fingers, like as I plant the seed, the block gives back. community counseling services in Kensington, Power Circle Mentors, Big Philly Cleanup. People like that are people that deserve the money. NOMO. And the other people, honestly, like, people could promote, like, mentorship and stuff like that, but don't really have results for it, I would say. And that's not no diss to nobody. If you're helping kids, you're helping kids. Yeah. But I feel as though other people do a better job at it. And those are, like, the people I named, those people are, like, major.
Yeah, because anybody could really get a group together, but if they've got an organization and actually, you know, a board and, you know, all the legal jargon behind it, it's gonna fall flat pretty quickly. So
definitely.
So having those hurdles, I mean, getting started at the young age you got started, even before when you were talking about your friends, like, you know, it's hard to have those people come around. Who did you have anybody who was like, oh, this ain't gonna work? Like any pushback?
Almost every single friend, except for Wilsey. That's the co-founder right now. Every other friend, they were like, bro, you only 16, that ain't gonna happen. And then they was big like, oh, Philly? You talking about needle? Where all the needles at? I'm like, where all the needles at, bro? Like, everybody deserve help. Like, I think, and that's the common misconception. People think that the people in Kensington are just on drugs just because they on drugs. Yeah. They're helpless. They're not helpless. They're actually humans. So that's the way we look at it at LOT, and we try to help any way as possible. So yeah, it was a lot of people saying no, but the yeses in the background was bigger than the no's, in my opinion.
I mean, it's showing.
Yeah.
You know, you've been doing it for a few years now, so it's that stigma that people who are addicted want to be there is something that I think is, especially with social media today, I think that's a good aspect of social media, because you're starting to see, like, yo, these people don't really want to be there. You know, the opioid epidemic, they prescribe perks and Vikes to everybody for everything, and people get addicted. And they end up on the street. That's not something people want to choose.
Yeah, because I show friends back at college in Maryland, Salisbury, Maryland, and they don't think it's true. Like, the videos I show them on Kensington Beach and stuff like that, they don't think it's true until I pull it up, like, yo, this is real. And they're like, that's crazy. I never saw nothing like that. And then you see people, like, friends that I even had back in middle school and people that I follow on Instagram. Like, this one lady, she actually ended up in Kensington, and I followed her. And then she posted, like, I'm sober now, this, that, and the third. And that's how you know, like, it's really real and people actually want to help. It took for somebody to talk to her, or, like, a friend to go get her, for her to get off it. And now she's doing perfect. But they need the extra push, you know. I mean, you can't save everybody, but if you try to save some, that's better than none.
Yeah. I mean, just like you said, you bringing a game truck around to some kids who aren't in the best economic position to experience that until they get older or get some money, and you just showed them a whole nother side of it. You know, something as insignificant as you might think of as a game, and you just changed that kid's whole world.
Definitely. Like, the kids in my mentorship program, great kids, just in bad parts of Philadelphia, Southwest Philadelphia, North Philadelphia, and those are some of the highest crime rate parts of Philadelphia. But the high school that I went to was a private school called Germantown Academy, and that's where I graduated from. So I took them up there to play basketball, and that was a new world for them. Like, they were like, yo, what is this? Is that college? I'm like, no, it's my high school, bro. How you go here? I'm like, a scholarship. And they're like, oh, I knew you couldn't afford it. Like, they did and all that. But it was a new world for them. They didn't even know how to speak to some certain people, because they don't see that many white people where they're from. So they're like, what do I say? Like, do I have to be proper? I'm like, just be yourself. Like, you cool. But that was an eye-opener to them. So I think showing kids, and even people in general, different ways of life will actually change their perspective on life. But they have to see it to believe it. Like,
that's one of the big reasons I like talking to people like you, people who are in Philly because of how Philly is, having them on this podcast. Because, I mean, there's tons of different news outlets and news sources that will give you a feel-good story that's, for lack of better words, whitewashed.
For sure.
You know, it's always this is what's going on in this good neighborhood. And it's like
Fishtown. You know?
Exactly. You know what I mean? And for where we come from, there's not a spotlight on that. So what I want to do is talk to real people who are in the streets. I don't know if you heard from Josh from Empowering Cuts.
Yeah.
I had him on from the trenches, like in K&A, giving haircuts to
Josh is a blessing.
Yeah. Oh,
Josh
that dude gives me goosebumps every time I see some of the shit that he posts.
He's a blessing.
He does the 7 days of giving back or whatever the case is, and he's
free hotels,
haircuts, sneakers, clothes, money,
man.
And it's all from people who watch his channel or his thing. He got a whole bus.
Yeah,
a haircut.
He spoke it into fruition too. Like I remember he posted about it. Like, I'm going to get it, and he got it. And
Ben Simmons reached out to him.
Yeah,
you know, and it's that reach, and that's the reason I want to have this platform to up people like you and others, because from people outside looking in who don't know what it's like, they think of the stereotypical.
Definitely.
Oh, these people want to be there. Oh, that it's crime written because there's a bunch of criminals, and that's not the case, and there's people helping. So, big ups to you, man.
Thank you.
When you, what's one thing you wanted to, or you wish you knew before you got started?
I wish I knew like the political aspect of it, like people will really try to stop good, and
all
I think
the red tape?
Man. I think it's more so not even like people, but like the city in general. Like we tried to do a book bag giveaway at one of the recreation centers, and it was one of the people I know, and they literally told him like, yo, you can't give these book bags away because you don't have a permit. And mind you, the guy from the streets don't really know about all that. He got money, so he trying to give away book bags, and the kids need it. The kids was actually lined up waiting for the book bags. They were like, yo, you can't do this. So he did it out of his trunk. Mind you, he still did it, but if they gave him the space, he probably could have did more. And that's like, there's a lot of like disablers in the city of Philadelphia that really try to stop good and stuff like that. And it's just crazy.
And what kind of permit do you need to give out? Like, you're not giving out food.
Exactly.
I can understand food because you get sick.
They said he needed a permit to put a table in the park. Like, come on, man. Come on.
And that stuff is discouraging.
It really is.
People are like, cool, I'm not going to do anything then.
Right. And that's when they said that they tried to stop us from doing a basketball tournament for because it was too many people and they thought it was going to draw too much of a big crowd. I was discouraged myself. I'm like, man, I don't even want to do it no more. We might as well just cancel it. And then Wilsey and Nicole and Ariana, those people in my group, they were like, we ain't stopping nothing. Like, we going to do this.
Good.
Like, all right, bet.
You need people like that.
Yeah, I'm like, put my head back on my shoulders. And then we did it, and then we actually did it with the same amount of people we thought we was going to do it with. We just took the tables out the park and we played regular basketball, and the trophies were still handed out. We actually gave away Phillies tickets, so like, we still had to do what we gotta do, but there's so many hurdles that we had to fight and like barriers we had to break to even give away something positive. Like, and the negative stuff they don't care about.
No,
just let it happen. So it's crazy.
And the news showed up for that one.
Yeah. Fox 29. Yeah.
I like that. There's some media actually.
Yeah,
you know, it's a small segment, but it's still still something.
Yeah, I mean, and we contacted them. I think they came more so for the state representative, but as long as the agenda was pushed at, it was good in the community. I'm cool with it. We don't really need all the publicity. I mean, publicity is good, but as long as we know we did good that day, that's all that really matters.
What are you ever get volunteers who have some misconceptions about? Like they come having some type of idea about what they're gonna do to help, and then what are some misconceptions that you usually have to clear up whenever somebody comes through?
So we did a cleanup in Kensington, and they thought it was gonna be a walk in the park. Like, people pulled up, just pulled up. Like, all right, we ready. Leaving the car running. I'm like, don't leave your car running. Cause what you doing? Turn your car off. And then they came. They like, all right, so I'm ready. I'm like, you got gloves? No, we ain't got no. Give them gloves. You got water? No, give them water. And then they walking around, and then actually one of the people in the park had to get Narcan. And they walked up to me and like, what's going on? I'm like, just keep cleaning. Don't worry about it. The ambulance is there. Like, it's going to take some time. And then walked up to me like, this is so eye-opening. I never saw nothing like that. I live in Doylestown. Never saw nothing like this. And I'm like, yeah, like when you come volunteer, you're going to be hands-on. You're going to see a lot of stuff that you never saw in your life. But we show you the real. Like, we're not one of these nonprofits that's just out here doing regular stuff that everybody else do. But, like, even the Block Gives Back, y'all are out here really giving away food, like, and like, this is well needed. And when people come volunteer, they probably don't think they're gonna have to come prep food and all that, but they got to, because that's what y'all really do. Like, y'all food is actually prepared real food, not just some processed stuff. So it's like,
Yeah, it's not a box. It's not a cold box lunch.
See, so like stuff